All right, sweetheart, are you ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. Son of a bitch. That was not the frame I meant to come in on, but
Sure
what
about
an
that.
what an entrance.
Sure.
Yikes. All right, here we go. Hold up.
Not every mother and daughter is as close as we are. My mum introduced me to the adult industry.
Our OnlyFans is about us, pictures of us dancing, glamour modelling.
How do you feel about it?
Nope.
Yeah. Didn't tell her what we were doing as usual. Mom and daughter together on the OF. I'm going to refer to it as OF because I feel like the actual, if you say it at full length, you probably get demonetized. There's just probably a 10% chance this stays monetized anyways. But here's the deal. I've done a video about some, like the idea of a mom doing OF, which is not super uncommon. And a lot of these moms have like kids that are like high school age and stuff. So you can imagine kind of the commentary around that. This particular one was interesting because it's a mom and daughter. So there's no limit to what people are willing to do for a few bucks. There's also no limit to, what men are willing to pay for on the internet. So
Yeah.
here we go.
I wonder how the partners in their lives feel about this, though.
Yeah, you get a
Probably
little
pretty
insight
bad
into that.
until the money comes in.
I mean, this is the thing. It all comes down to what your moral foundation is. Is money more important than integrity around your intimacy? Or it's individualistic, of course, but certainly it offers enough fodder to comment on. Let's see what this mother and daughter have to offer here. See if it's worth the price.
Commenting that my mum's forced me to do it. It did get to me a little bit. And then I thought, they're jealous because I'm making money.
Yeah, see, that's always the argument. It's like, oh, you're just jealous because they make so much money doing it.
You know.
It's like, no, dude, you can make money doing a lot of things, right? And not all of them are something to be jealous over.
Right.
There's a lot more to life than just greenbacks. You know what I'm saying? But for some people, they don't really see forest for the trees. Extraordinary family is right.
Joe.
And I'm Ashante.
We're like a unique mother and daughter. We're both glamour models. I'd been in the industry about 14 years. She was struggling to get an interview or a job. And I thought, why don't you do a bit of this and earn some real money?
Oh, that's the only way to make real money.
Here, so this is interesting, right? So now you already have the implications, like the mother's been doing this kind of like what seems like adult modeling for 14 years, which is clearly as long as she's been old enough to have her own faculties. I can't imagine she's in much older than like young 20s or something.
Sure.
So the second she has a hard time getting her job, the mom's like, you know what, why don't you just spread it on the internet and you can make some real money. So this idea where she's like offended that people like are assuming that her mother made her do it. I think made is maybe a strong word, but certainly the idea of her, I don't think groom's the right word either, but being raised in that setting where that seems like the most normal pathway towards making money is more reasonable, which say what you want about that on a moral level. That's just...
And it's doing very well.
That it is.
Our OnlyFans
I mean,
is
you got
about
your own
us.
Truly video, so.
So you've got pictures of us.
This, my wife knows. If you've had a Truly video made about you,
made it.
You have officially ascended to internet god status. Okay, I'm kidding, of course. It's a Leon Lush video that needs to be made about you before that happens. Oh yeah, why is that so funny? Yeah, whatever. Keep it to yourself.
Love you.
Doing TikTok, dancing, naked,
Jesus.
glamour modelling.
You go from having not much money to earning thousands in a month.
We make a heck of a lot of money. And I mean, a lot of money.
There's a much deeper discussion about the way like the adult industry has been democratized because of social media that I don't really want to get into.
Nope.
The thing that's a little problematic for me is, and I spend a lot of time on the internet, so every day it's like just a new crop of young women that are just like, this is what they resort to because it's such a huge market. It's saying just as much about the men in the world as it is about the women. And then it's like, if you can just get over that hurdle of whatever, depending on how you were raised, whatever that moral barrier is to the point where you're comfortable being super explicit on the internet, it is, I don't want to say easy, because obviously it's probably very competitive, and I'm sure there's a lot of OF models that aren't crushing it every month, but it is very accessible and can happen very quickly. It's like, becoming a social media star, but in a market of hungry, thirsty, horny, young and old men that are, willing and ready to part with however much money a month to see something fresh and new because we live in a pornography addicted culture. Anyways, not to go down that rabbit hole.
I mean, yeah, it definitely is accessible, and I'm in some different mom groups, on Facebook and whatnot. And the topic does come up a lot about, trying to pull in an income and should I make an OnlyFans, and all kinds of people will chime in. All kinds of people will chime in and be like, "Oh yeah, do it. I have one. My husband got over it real quick when I started bringing in some dough." Yeah.
Bro, that is a whole conversation.
Yeah.
Just so it's public, I wouldn't be comfortable with you doing OnlyFans.
I would never.
I know you wouldn't. I know you would. I knew that when I met you, which is why I married you. It's just not in. It's not under my. It's not on my umbrella of things I'm comfortable with in a relationship. Some people are.
Now.
And that's okay if they want to be.
Would you feel the same way if we were broke and needed some money?
Here you go. That's the other thing is like economically, if you are down and out, right? You have no other way to turn to. You can't get a job. You don't have an education maybe, and like all these things. And all you got to do is like buy some cute lingerie and use your smartphone and find a little niche of men that are into what you're offering. Like it's obvious then why it's become so popular. Cute toes, nice little, plump little calves. I don't know, whatever it might be.
Oh my gosh.
But it is, yeah, that's a huge thing. Like money rules the world, man, at the end of the day. And a lot of people.
And some people have to be resourceful with what is available.
Yeah.
I get it.
The mom and daughter.
I get it. I get why people do it.
Of course. The mom and daughter dynamic certainly takes it to another level for me.
Yeah, no thanks.
But that, again, what people are into, that's the other sick type. Like
so that's just kind of playing on some
that
people's
idea probably
fetishes.
makes it much more appealing to a large group of dudes who are like, oh yeah, that's cool for some reason because it's unusual.
Oh, you look so cute. I was a single parent, bringing up 2 kids and been through so much. So my daughter, obviously, she's quite protective and we're really close and we don't really hold secrets from each other. She's my backbone and my best friend, so. Oh. Love you too.
I support her 100%. Whatever she does, I'm there. And I love her to bits. Oh.
So I look like a lady there.
She's not a lady now.
Not really, no.
You said it.
That's funny. I mean, but that's a nice little segment, humanizing them in a good way, because a lot of people will hear this and immediately write them off. You have to understand, people that do these things are like, they have their own problems, we have our own problems, and everyone just comes up with different ways of trying to remediate their problems. My question is, what are they doing on the OnlyFans together?
I don't really know. I'm not sure I want to know, but I think we're going to find out.
Should we pay for access? No, I'm kidding.
We're just having a look
So
on
you're telling me you don't already-
Facebook and the negative and different comments.
I mean, I didn't subscribe 6 months ago when I was researching this video.
Oh my
Is a nice
here they are.
negative. Who even encourages their own daughter to do such a thing?
Oh, they're reading bad comments.
It's just twisted and sick. Some mothers are just not meant to be.
There you go.
Makes me laugh. She's basically pimping out her own daughter. What kind of mother would even want their daughter to work as a stripper? For one, I'm not a stripper. And for two, she's definitely not pimping me out.
So that argument is, like, obviously that argument's going to be a popular one, right?
Yeah.
It's the mother's fault, she's pimping her daughter, blah, blah, blah. Part of me in my mind, like, I think about, like, as a father, like, you think about dads that, they have their heyday, right? Like, as an athlete or something.
Sure.
And then, like, that becomes their whole identity. And
yeah,
then as they
then
get old and they raise their kids,
Yeah.
they're like, they basically make sure and force their kids into this thing that they can continue their legacy of athleticism and kind of start to live vicariously through their kid.
Sure.
It's kind of like what's happening here, but with like modeling, it feels like, where it's like, she's not pimping her out, but like, certainly if...
Let's just say it's probably elevated her business.
There you go. If the mother was continuing to do it by herself, there would probably be a much smaller addressable market than the fact that she has her younger daughter now included in the business. So there are a lot of questions that can be raised in that particular business model.
Oh, it's freezing.
Just another day in the office. So
That's just a quick shoot, just to go up on our OnlyFans.
And it's an insight for you to see what we do on our day-to-day job.
Yeah. One thing I will say
And then they pull out the cocktails.
yeah, then now it's time to do it. All right,
I'd certainly have to have a couple of drinks if I were going to be getting involved in anything like that. Hey, wait, I used to have to drink to do this.
I know you used to.
That's a fun
You used to
flashback.
have a cocktail before you could say anything on the mic. Yeah, man, it's been years now.
Before I'd even let you hit record.
Yeah, no, we haven't done a drunk video in like a year. I feel like.
Damn, maybe we should.
Well, once Buddy's like in
An
kindergarten,
appropriate
yeah,
drunk video.
Yes.
Just something
which for you is like half a martini. A full martini, you guys don't want to see Mrs. Lush on one, okay? Gets a little nasty.
If you and your daughter can have a bond of trust, you take snaps together, and then if you do want to make money from it, and because you've already got that really incredible bond, it shouldn't actually matter to the haters.
Do you?
They just flipped you off.
They
Honey.
think they're so funny.
I know.
See?
I mean, but it's in its own way. It's like I don't know. I literally could care less. Like people can do what they want with their own lives.
You couldn't care less?
God, did I tell you how I do that the other day?
I already know you
It's
do.
my big.
I think everyone does.
I always say I could care less, right? Like that's like the saying, but it's I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Is the proper way to say it. So yeah, I know I could not care less what people do, but I hope they're happy and whatever. I was kind of saying the same thing in a video I just posted yesterday, just about what people do on the internet. Like I couldn't care less what people do, but once you start to get kids involved, it gets a little hairy. The video I did yesterday was about family vloggers that are essentially
Fruit fly.
family vlogging on the internet is a whole nother genre. I think there's a huge amount of exploitation that goes on around kids that aren't even cognizant enough to make single decisions about anything.
Yeah.
I'm not against putting your kids on the internet, but
I
there's a
know.
level, right? We talked about kind of like,
We've talked about this.
yeah. So anyways,
So I wonder what the percentage of males to females with OnlyFans accounts are. Because
what, like that own accounts or that
Own
are use
accounts.
it, that are use it, like
No,
that
own.
upload stuff.
upload.
Okay.
Well, only because I know of one guy
Man, yeah.
that has.
Yeah, I know some
Page.
just through the internet. I obviously know some guys that do it too.
Of course.
I would say it's
There's a
probably
calling for
pretty
that.
in line with the adult industry, in perpetuity. It's obviously super skewed to females.
Yeah.
Because I would say it's a market dominated by males that are hungry for lewd content, but that's not to say that females aren't either. It's just the way it is.
My kids, they know that I have OnlyFans.
Okay, we got
I
a
am
new
able to
family
be
now.
free to be able to be in their lives more because of OF. No matter what I'm doing, I always get judgment. They assume I'm like a blonde bimbo. They call me plastic. They tell me they want me to choke on my silicone implants. The
Jeez.
pros outweigh the cons. So I have to pick something to wear today.
Debatable.
The boys are gonna help me with a photo shoot.
So she looks like you're kind of like made in a lab, Instagram model essentially, that just surgeries over the years to just get curvier and curvier, turn that into an OF career. The teenage age kids is the video I did about this on my main channel about another mother, same thing, teenage age kids. That is such a peculiar thing for me because I'm obviously thinking about back to my experience at school when you're like at an age, whether you're middle school or high school, and it's like everything is, you're developing your sense of self and all these things. Like I can't imagine, like you could make jokes about someone back then or like talk about, oh yeah, your mom, like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But now you could literally go into a dining hall and like there's a kid you don't like and his mom does OnlyFans. You can literally just like pull up a video of his mom like going ham on something. Like how traumatizing is that, right?
It's really bad.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't really think about that, but yeah.
Yeah, dude, like think about the ammunition these kids, these bullies have against you. If the kids, like, you'd like to think that the kids, oh yeah, they're close to their mom, they're open, and it's like, okay, whatever, they get over it, they don't care. But it has to affect them somehow. Like it's in a way. It would be different for like an adult husband dealing with it. Okay, you're an adult. Hopefully you've kind of figured out who you are as a person. You've made the decision that's okay for you in your relationship. It's a whole other thing when you're just a teenage kid trying to figure.
And you have
you
no
don't know anything
say
about
or
the world
input.
yet. Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. I come from a conservative background, so call me crazy, but it just I don't know how that dynamic would play out.
So I started OnlyFans like 3 years ago, and what motivated me to join was honestly the freedom that it gave me. Since I'm pretty much by myself, it was hard for me to be able to rely on anyone for help, so I found that you know, with showing my body and giving up kind of like my self-worth in a way was worth it to me because I was able to be there for my family and my kids.
That was a little bit like self-aware almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little more than you would normally see. Like
Kinda
she's
like,
acknowledging.
hey, I gave it up.
Yeah, she's acknowledging the fact that she's giving up some of herself. I'm sure some OnlyFans models would take issue with her saying that. I
Yes.
think.
But that's how she feels.
But that's how she feels about it. But for her, it's like, and here's the thing: there does seem to be a theme of like single moms.
Yeah.
I guess obviously it's a different dynamic on one income, and maybe if you have a partner who's bringing in income as well, situational.
I try to involve them as much as I could with that side of things, just so they can see that it's not just as easy as posting a picture. It's a lot of work.
Wait, why are you trying to involve them with that?
Basically, she needs a photographer.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's like, to what extent are we involving them? Are they like holding the camera? Are they running the social media accounts? Like, what are we talking about
take
here?
Pictures.
Oh, come on, dude.
So I have to pick something to wear today. I've learned to just kind of get more confident and
wardrobe.
comfortable, even though now I still feel that I have to be kind of careful because I've kind of overdone it with plastic surgery and stuff.
Is this more
She is the most self-aware.
More self-awareness by an Instagram
Yeah.
OF model? Holy cow. When's the last time you saw someone that looked like this? It was like, yeah, I went a little too far.
I mean, people do, but they usually at that point they've hit the real regret point. Like when they're like, all right, I overdid it and I want to reverse some of this. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
well,
we hear about
First
those.
cosmetic procedure was when I was 18 years old. I would
course.
say 1, 2, 3 breast augmentation.
Good Lord.
I had a Brazilian butt lift.
Of course.
Then I got that reversed.
Whoop.
And then I got my nose done last year. When I got my plastic surgery done, that was a way for people to have like a shock factor when they see me. And I liked that attention. But I feel like now it's kind of like the opposite. Like I've grown so much to know that like that's not the attention that I want. So right now I don't enjoy getting plastic surgery. I'm actually looking forward to reversing or removing in the future.
It's almost like the attention you get from doing these very extreme procedures doesn't fill that void in your soul or that purpose, right? I don't know. I mean, this is true for anybody, whether it's plastic surgery or guys who are obsessed with working out and getting huge and jacked and taking all types of drugs. It's
Sure.
the whole idea of looking a certain way to get a certain amount of attention.
Blonde bimbo with like big boobs that does nothing with her life. I've had to face a lot of scrutiny, a lot of judgment from other moms.
Listen, no judgment here. Some nice nipple rings.
I know that's like another thing you don't want that to stand out, but hi.
Well, I mean, she's talking about how she's looking forward to in the future, versus, but she's still trying to market the product at the moment.
Yeah, but how do you back away from that?
I mean, that's a good question for anyone that uses their sex appeal as the entirety of their business income, I would imagine. Something you got to start to
Well,
deal
she
with.
said she's going to school.
Well, also, in the one we saw previously, just get a daughter that you can have carry the torch when you get to a
man.
certain age. Let's go. She's probably so chuffed that she has 2 sons. If she had like a daughter who was going to be 18 soon, oh man, let's go. We can start getting reverse
Sign her up
plastic
for her
surgery
first-
soon. Yeah,
But the daughter can go in for the first one.
that's true.
She was 18 when she had it.
That's true. Yeah, carry the torch, the family legacy.
So I always get a lot of negative comments or hate. So they call me plastic. They
standard.
tell me they want me to choke on my silicone implants. They tell me to die in the ocean. I'm just living for myself, the content I'm producing,
specific.
the pictures I post on Instagram, the things I do on OF. It's for me now to make me feel empowered as a woman. It took me like 5 years to get here, and I'm not gonna let these negative comments bring me down. So gotta keep going.
Do you worry that you're exposing your children to adult themes too young?
Question.
I don't think I'm exposing my kids to adult themes too young. So I think more of like a content creator, because that's what I do on my OnlyFans. I kind of just create
But
fun
the content
content.
is adult themed.
That was the biggest cope I've ever heard in my life. I will say though, along the lines of that question, the society we live in now, with like the way I know kids are with their phones, like their kids are going to get exposed to much worse stuff probably at even a younger age than they're at now. I don't know. There's no hiding it now. Like back in the day when we were growing up, before all this, it was like, you know, I had to like sneak a rated R movie at my friend's house because I wasn't allowed in the house, and I didn't have a way to like see anything online, right?
Right.
I will tell you,
Oh dear.
we were one of the no, small. We were one of the first neighborhoods, or excuse me, one of the first houses in the neighborhood to have like internet. Right back when it was dial-up modems, we had a 14.4 kilobyte per second modem. It used up your phone line. It made a bunch of noises. You remember it, right?
Come on.
And I'll never forget the very first topless picture of Pamela Anderson I downloaded when my parents were gone.
Yeah.
I'm talking, this thing was like loading like pixel by pixel. And I'm sitting there like, I don't know, I was like 12 years old and I'm just like, oh my God, there's gonna be a tit. And it's like loading another line. It's like her face. It's, I'm not even kidding. I'm talking to you like, just to load like a shitty quality JPEG was taking maybe like 9 minutes because of how slow the internet was. And it starts to get to the cleanups. They're like, yeah. And oh man. And that was pretty much the downfall of my entire life. But that's what it was like back then. Now you pull up your fucking phone and it's like you go on Twitter anywhere and it's like 300,000 different females marketing their body to you at all times as a young man experiencing all these new hormones. I don't know, how do you set the boundaries anymore? I don't know how you do it.
Before you go in the pool, can you help me take some pictures really quick?
Yeah. Sometimes my mom needs help taking pictures sometimes,
Jesus.
but I don't really mind helping her.
That's
My
nice.
first thought when Maylene was on OnlyFans was, it was a little shocking. My opinion changed because I realized that it wasn't so bad and, you know,
I really tried.
her life changed for the better.
I always get worried
Cool.
about my kids
So-
or their friends finding out I have an OnlyFans, but I've made it very open. I post it on my social media because I have nothing to hide. It's a living that I have learned to respect, and I've been able to be there for my kids.
Nothing to hide. That's so you have nothing to hide. Literally, the entire business model is trying to find people to look at you. So of course, you have nothing to hide. What are you talking about? I guess she meant from family. Like,
Yeah,
you
like her
can't-
personal page.
Yeah, they're obviously
if you're gonna
you
do
can't.
it, yes,
you
own
can't
it.
hide a thing like that. I
Yeah.
don't think at some point. Alrighty, well that was it. Meet the moms with shocking jobs, they call it. What do you think on a scale of 1 to 10 is a little more, I guess, shock value? The first one or the second one? The mom with the daughter.
Oh, the first one.
The mom with the daughter.
Yeah.
The mom with the young
This
daughter.
is pretty classic, it seems.
Yeah, this is probably much more common.
Yeah.
These days, moms that are at this age, they got some kids and whatever, they do what they're gonna do. Yeah. Anyways,
Gotta feed the children.
yeah, always interesting to see what people are willing to do to make that cheddar, and to each their own.
And I will continue to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, yes. And if I'm looking for
Until the end
video,
of time.
if I'm looking for video ideas one day, and I randomly come across some Mrs. Lush OnlyFans, we're gonna have a talk.
Never.
Unless you show me a $250,000 a month paycheck. and
Stop it now.
Then we might. Then the talk might go a little
Stop
bit.
now.
Go a little bit differently. I'm teasing.
OnlyFans.
Whatever. Who cares?
Okay.
Yeah, it's all right. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. We always appreciate your time, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. I'm sure Mrs. Lush might feel differently, but maybe she likes you too. Who knows?
There's a lot of love.
Yeah. All right. Peace.